We will create that system. No, sincerely speaking, we have gone to the market, we started going into the market. There's been enough hard work done by Notori already, where we have to join hands in educating the farmers on the usage of fertilizer, on their crop yields, on how to farm, and the demand for fertilizer is going to increase tremendously. That's on the domestic market. And then let's not ignore the external market, the export market. The demand for urea itself is growing 2 to 3% globally. And that means every year 3 million tons of demand increases urea. And where is it going to come from? It's going to come from Nigeria, because it's strategically located in the Western Hemisphere, accessible to South America, North America, and Western Europe market, strategically advantageous than Middle East. And with abundant gas resources, Nigeria is going to be the hub for fertilizer globally. And in next 7 to 10 years, with the successful commissioning of all these plants, what we are talking today, the world is watching. You will see an investment of billions of dollars coming in, and Nigeria becoming the global hub of fertilizer and petrochemical production. That's what it is.
Thank you very much. That is a very positive comment that you have made, and I share your optimism with the program that has been launched here in agriculture sector. I do concur with your assessment in terms of the agriculture growth as well as the fertilizer market. Sure. Now, given that, I want to return to Mr. Mutio from Shell, that with this demand for fertilizer production, what do you see as challenges in terms of providing the gas supply?
Thank you very much. I think, as Kunle Ale did say, in terms of gas supply, availability is not a problem. The reserve is there, but you have to develop this reserve. And therefore, it is absolutely important that the development upstream will need to be incentivized. Some of the fiscals that we have today that are working will need to be retained. They will even need to be improved upon. Because as you have more and more of these fertilizer companies coming in, there will be increasing pressure. The second important issue for me with respect to making the gas available is the fact that we need to see the whole agric theme as a business, as we were told yesterday. So agriculture is a business, producing oil and gas is a business, and therefore they should not subsidize each other. So it's therefore very important that pricing must be right for the upstream developers. That is the only way that they can be incentivized to continue to develop the gas and make it available for the gas-based industry companies. The other important point that I want to mention has to do with the reliability of gas supply itself. Unlike oil that you can store, so that if you have excess today and tomorrow there's a shortage, you can take from your reserve. When it comes to gas, you have very little flexibility for storage. So you must be able to produce the gas every day, every minute, as required by the gas-based industry. So the whole environment in Nigeria, for me, is a key challenge. Vandalization of pipeline will pose a key challenge to the reliability of gas supply. So everything needs to be done to make sure that we can have a calmer environment where the gas producers can guarantee supplies on every minute, every hour, every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So those two things for me are important.
Thank you very much. I want to go to Mr. Dangote. Welcome. You have recently signed the contract to produce 2.8 million metric tons of urea and ammonia, and certainly it is going to go towards the self-sufficient fertilizer demand here in Nigeria. But In doing this, what are the challenges that you face as you implement this project?
Well, thank you very much. I think one of the greatest challenges that we have is what Mutiu said in terms of gas availability and also supply of gas, and the continuous supply of the gas. Because when you look at production of urea and ammonia, your only raw material is gas. Actually, if there's no gas, it means that there is no operation. So you end up having a huge investment that you cannot really turn around. But what we are doing, we're still talking to big companies like the likes of Shell and Co. But at the same time, we've actually decided as a company to bid for blocks that have a lot of gas, so that we will also produce our own gas and do it end to end. Normally, our business model doesn't really allow a lot of room to depend on people, because we know what it is, and we don't want people to start working back when they start seeing that you are making quite a lot of money or good money. Because there's a lot of risk. There's quite a lot of risk. When you take risk, you are also allowed to reap the benefits. So what we are trying to do is, to look at the whole picture by not only relying on people who are producing gas today, because we don't know, there are quite a lot of issues in terms of PIB, in terms of so many other issues. Whereas we're a Nigerian company, there are things that they might look at and say that, hey, look, we have other opportunities, and the environment might be a little bit hostile to them, or it's risky. To us as Nigerians, we might not really look at it as being that risky. So we'll definitely invest, we'll produce the gas, we can pass on the gas, even if it means that we need to do a gas pipeline that is, whether it's 100 or so. I mean, like as at today, we've written, for example, I'm just giving you an example, this outside fertilizer, we've written for the last 6 months or 8 months, which I'm sure will get approval very soon, to build a 320 kilometers gas pipeline to just supply gas to one of our cement plants. So if we can afford to build that for, a cement plant, which is no more than 500 million, what we are investing, you're talking about 1.8 billion to produce 2.8 million tons of urea ammonia. And we're not only stopping there, we are also, doing potash in the Republic of, Togo. So there's quite a lot that we are doing, which we know that, yes, there might be overcapacity in Nigeria, but then there is going to be a lot of demand in the West. Talking about Brazil, for example, Brazil is massive on agriculture, and they don't have enough fertilizer. They do import a lot. India imports a lot of fertilizer, even going east-west. And, the price of gas really, I think, is not an issue. The most issue is the availability of, the gas. Because if you don't have gas, you don't have any other alternative. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's clear from this discussion that the Petroleum Ministry, and there's enough gas reserve in the country, and there is investment coming in terms of using that gas to turn into fertilizer, not only to supply the domestic market, which we see as growing very rapidly under the present agriculture transformation agenda, but you are also looking at from the standpoint that Nigeria is going to be one of the big producers of nitrogenous fertilizer that will meet the global demand partially. And I think that's very, very good. Now, I want to come back to what Jite has said in terms of the cost of getting the fertilizer to the farmers. And the number he quoted was $80 per ton to take from south up to Kano. Now, what can private sector and the public sector, the government can do to reduce that cost, because we ultimately have to